We often complain about how busy we are, and that there is not enough time for everything. All of us face the same problem at some point. Too many things you want to do, and not enough hours in a day to do them all. But what is it that we are actually focusing on? Are you including all the things that are important and necessary? If you are, then you will be living a life that is meaningful. If you are not, you will merely be filling your days with frantic busyness. Prioritizing what to focus on in your life is a question we all ask ourselves. Welcome to Good Vibes Collections. Whatever life gives you, one thing to be successful is to stay positive. Whatever situation might be, positivity is the best way to deal with it. At Good Vibes Collections, we have a set of inspirational and motivational stories. Let me share you a well-known story. This is about the importance of prioritizing on how we spend our time. Story of the rocks, the pebbles, and the sand. But before we start, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell to stay updated with our new uploads. And please give this video a thumbs up, and don't hesitate to comment down below what you think about the story. Thank you.
One day, a university professor stood in front of his class with a display of items. He took a large empty mason jar, and he fills it with a number of large rocks. Holding the jar up, he asks his students, "Is the jar full?" "Yes, of course," the students respond. With a smile, the professor sets the jar back down and pulls out a container of pebbles. As he dumps it into the jar, the pebbles fills in the spaces between the big rocks. Holding up the jar once again, he asks his students, "Is the jar full now?" Seeing they've been fooled, they think twice, and answered, "Yes, of course." Cracking an even bigger smile, the professor sets down the jar and reveals a container of sand. He dumps the sand into the jar, and it fills the space between the pebbles. Once again, the professor asks the students, "Is this jar full?" With a chorus of eye rolls, they're onto his tricks. But with the jar so densely packed, the students admit, "Yes, the jar is full." Then the professor laughs. The professor pours his mug of coffee into the jar. As the coffee fills the space between the rocks, pebbles, and sand, the professor says, "Now, the jar is full." Then the professor explains, "The jar represents your life. The rocks represent the most important things in your life that have real value. Rocks are things like your bucket list items, non-negotiable goals, your dreams and authentic desires, things that fulfill you, things you can do to make this a healthier and happier world for yourself and others. Such as spending time with your family and maintaining proper health." This means that if we lost the sand and the pebbles, the jar would still be full, and your life would still have meaning. The pebbles represent the things in your life that matter, but that you could live without. The pebbles are certainly things that give your life meaning, such as your job, house, hobbies, and friendships. But they are not critical for you to have a meaningful life. These things often come and go, and are not permanent or essential to your overall well-being. The sand represents everything else, the small stuff. Material possessions, chores, and filler things, such as watching television or browsing social media sites. These things don't mean much to your life as a whole, and are likely only done to get small tasks accomplished, or even to fill or waste time. The metaphor here is that, if you start with putting sand into the jar, you will not have room for rocks or pebbles. This holds true for the things you let into your life too. If you spend all of your time on the small and insignificant things, you will run out of room for the things that are actually important. So in order to have a more effective life, you should prioritize the big rocks first. The most important things in your life. Practice self-care. Spend quality time with the people you love, because they are critical to your long-term well-being. And the rest is just pebbles and sand. They will always find some space at a later time. While you can always find time to work or do chores, it is important to manage the things that really matter first. If you are able to identify the important things ahead of time and set aside the time you need to work on them, then in the long run, it's okay to procrastinate a bit on the small chores that are not as important. If you solve the big issues first, the small issues can still fall into place. But remember, these are all different for everyone. One person's big rock may be another person's sand. One of the students raised his hand and asked what the coffee represented. The professor smiled and said, "I'm glad you asked. It just goes to show you that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room for a couple of cups of coffee with a friend."
Do you like the story? How will you relate the story to your personal experience? Don't hesitate to comment it down below, guys. Today's quote is from Brandon Sanderson. The mark of a great man is the one who knows when to set aside the important things in order to accomplish the vital ones. That's all, guys. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell to stay updated with our new uploads. And please give this video a thumbs up, and share this good vibes to your friends. Thank you.